Welcome back to High School Football Weekly. I'm Frank Wolf from WNY Athletics, joined by Dick Gallagher, of course, from WGRZ. And right now we have the Class AA coaches from Lancaster, Eric Rupp, and from Orchard Park, Craig Dana. Craig's also a Kenmore West graduate. Just want to throw that out there. And a Buff State Hall of Famer.
That's correct.
Soon to be a Kenton Athletics Hall of Famer.
Well, I don't know about that, but
he will be. We'll see what we can do. We'll get you there. But, gentlemen, it really comes as no surprise to a lot of people that we're going to see Orchard Park and Lancaster once again this season. I think as soon as your first game ended, we said, okay, so how far away are we from the Ralph? So here we are. You had a tough road to get here. Obviously, Jamestown was no walk in the park facing that team. Plus, you had to go and beat Clarence, who beat you earlier in the year. You have 2 losses by 2 points. What's the mindset of the Legends walking into this game with a rematch against the Quakers, and how healthy is everybody?
It's been a different road this year for sure. We've had to overcome a lot of adversity. We've had some injuries, dropping those 2 games in the regular season. And with the tiebreakers, we're dropped down to number 5. Last 3 years we were 1 or 2. And we got to play all of our home games at Foyle Kling Field. But credit to the kids. They didn't drop their heads. They just said, all right, this is going to be a tough challenge, but we're up to it. So going into Clarence and Jamestown, very tough places to win. Coach Bergio and Coach Langworth, do a tremendous job. And, credit to our kids. They just worked hard and did whatever they needed to come out of there with the win.
Was there a game in the regular season, maybe it was Clarence, maybe it was Orchard Park, maybe it was Depew, but was there a game in the regular season where things kind of came together for you, where you thought that, okay, we've got things back on track here? Is there a point in the season when you just can point back to say that, we're back, Lancaster football is back to where it needs to be in order to make a run to the stadium? Yeah,
I think the Monday after the Orchard Park loss was kind of the turning point of our season. The kids just kind of said, all right, this is different, so we've practiced harder, we've prepared harder. Our last 3 weeks of practice have been our best 3 weeks. And, the kids are doing everything that they need to do, whether it's lifting weights, getting on huddle, filling out scouting reports on each opponent, and, just bringing it every day in practice. I feel like we're playing our best football at the right time.
Craig, pretty much the same question. You guys had that huge win over Lancaster in their barn, and then you have to go down to Jamestown, and that one then doesn't go your way. Was there a point in the season? I mean, you guys were pretty dominant. I mean, if you look at your schedule, you guys put up a ton of points, didn't really give up a lot. And Dick and I have been talking about Orchard Park for a lot of the year, and, of course, Tom Prince. We can't get him to shut up about Orchard Park sometimes. We love Tom.
We love Tom, too.
We love Tom. But what was the difference with this team as opposed to, say, last year? Is it just that extra experience?
Yeah, I think it comes from our senior leadership. Right from January, those guys, the seniors, have really set the tone for everything we do is at a high level, whether it's a workout or 7-on-7 or whatever. So our seniors really have set the tone from as soon as our season ended last year, and that really has carried us through our off season and into this season. And we had a great start to our season. The homecoming game versus Bennett was a big moment for our kids to really understand, when they really do everything that we're talking about, we beat those guys 28-0. Our defense really wasn't getting a lot of talk during the season, and our defense has played fantastic all year. So that was a big game, and then the Lancaster and the Jamestown game, we learned a lot from the victory, and we learned a lot from that loss. So really it goes on our senior leadership. We've got a group of seniors that really set the tone every day. We don't have to put, our practices are fantastic, and it's all because the kids really, really want it, and they're focused every day.
It seems to be that running game is starting to really come together. Just talk about your running game. You got 3 guys back there that can run the ball. And is that something that you guys have been really working for, waiting for? Kurt Fisher always kind of held certain players or plays back until he got here. Not suggesting that, but he was famous for doing that.
Yeah.
He was very successful here, wasn't he? I mean, I think he's undefeated out there. You're the historian.
He's not as successful as Orchard Park. when you take a look at this,
I wasn't even going to go there.
20.
You're taking it down another road now.
This
All
is
right.
the 23rd
Yep.
appearance. They've won 14 championships. There's a lot of fun during the course of a season. You have the University of Orchard Park. But guess what? With what the Legends have done in the last few years, it's also the University of Lancaster. And to me, the two best teams wind up in AA playing at the stadium.
I have no doubt that Len Jankowicz will be there on Friday night. Do you think Gene Tunda will be there on Friday night?
I'm not sure if Gene will be there. Gene's already been texting me. He texted me 3 or 4 times this morning. So yeah, Gene is. I learned a lot from Gene. Going to all those sectional games, as a lower level assistant, and then on his staff, as we played here when we made a run and lost to New Rochelle in the finals. So Gene, he's been coming to practice every once in a while and stuff. So I'm not sure if Gene will be there Friday night at 8:00 or he might be watching it on his couch. But Gene's always sending me suggestions, advice, and stuff like that. So
Coach never stops coaching, right?
Nope, never.
So here we are. I mean, this is the AA game. It's Friday night, 8 p.m. That is a game that will be seen on Spectrum. There will be an audio broadcast of that on Mixler. I wish you guys the best of luck. There's some tremendous football players in this game, and really, Dick, you said it the best. Usually the two best teams get here, and I think we have that here.
Just one quick question. What was your JV records this year?
I believe we were 7-1.
7-1?
We were 7-1.
Wow.
Might see a repeat next year. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to cut it back to our sponsors. We'll be back in just a few moments with the Class A coaches.